Cardinal, is it Bychok?
Bychok.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about him.
Yeah, so Bychok is kind of funny because in Ukrainian, it means like a little bull. So he's full of it. Yeah. So people don't realize that. It's funny. Cardinal, bull, little bull, Bychok. Now, that's a surprise candidate. And people have been talking about him in one sense because, I mean, he's what, 44 years old, 45, something like that. And he didn't even expect to be named Cardinal. There isn't a whole lot known about him. He's from Ternopil in western Ukraine. And his name has been mentioned because if the conclave fathers are looking for someone who is going to give a kind of a generational papacy, that these younger guys like Marengo in Mongolia, Bychok, they bring a youthfulness that would alleviate the kind of the osteoporosis that the papacy has kind of become embodied with, and the public perception of it, that is. And you look at what a young papacy did with John Paul II, how that gave gave life to our church. So Bychok does that. Now, there isn't a whole lot known about him other than that the fact that he's known to be a humble man. I think if he's not chosen as Pope, here's what he brings to the table. He brings Oceania, he brings Ukraine, and he brings the East. The unique thing that is needed here is that we've been talking about the Church of the Peripheries for 10 years.
Be sure to download Truthfully. Truthfully is like ChatGPT, went to OCIA, got baptized, and now is on a mission to evangelize the world. Check it out, truthfully.ai.
But we're not governing from the perspective of the Church of the Peripheries, people who are poor and afflicted. And he represents that church as a Ukrainian, and geographically, he embodies that. I mean, you're from Australia. You guys are in the middle of nowhere. How many hours is it to fly from here to Australia?
From LA, it's 13.
Yeah. So he's kind of on the edge, and the Church of Oceania has never been represented in the papacy, and also he again that desire to consolidate East and West as an Eastern Rite cardinal. He brings that to the table as well. I think his role could be, if they don't see him because of his youth as a papabile, his role could be as an advocate for Shevchuk, who has the experience of being the head of a sui juris church. And that brings us back to Shevchuk's candidacy. So he could be a voice in there for representing the most dynamic pious church in Europe, which is the Ukrainian church, which has a lot of blood that it has had to endure, and for them to be able to bring those tears and that witness of the catacomb church and put it at the service of the universal church at a time when there aren't too many good stories coming out of Europe in terms of European Catholicism, I think it would be opportune and unlike perhaps any chance we've had in 400 to 500 years.
All right, well, we'll pray, and we should pray. All Catholics should pray. There's this, I think, misunderstanding that whoever is chosen was exactly who God wanted it to be. But distinguishing between his perfect and permissive will, we grant, and Pope Benedict talked about this, that just because someone's elected Pope, it doesn't mean that was God's perfect will. So
right.
We do want to pray for all the cardinals and pray for the next Pope.